Hello man, hello Mgtows, hello MRAs. I didn't want to leave the last video fragmented. I wanted to kind of bridge the gap or the link between cultural Marxism, Romanticism, the Romantic era, Victorianism with what we see now. And we can look over our cityscapes and we can look over the beauty and the art and the plush designs of buildings, and but all in all, underneath all that paint and all that beauty and all that art is bricks and steel and mortar and glass, siding, windows, doors, and all these things, electricity, plumbing, all these things men do. We can look at the modern female and how she paints herself with makeup and squeezes her tits up and wears some tight-fitting clothing to accentuate her curves, and all that stuff, makes her hair up and spends time dieting and over dieting or under dieting, whatever appeals to the kind of male she's going for. And we see that as a cloak for what she really is, an appeal to beauty. And what an appeal to beauty is to attract a male under this cloak of false romanticism. We see this so much. We see pictures of beautiful women on these huge posters selling a can of Coke. Coke isn't going to change because of this female's beauty. It's simply going to be Coke, and it's better with rum in it. That's the truth, as I see it. Or Jameson's. I do like Jameson's. We can look at all the building designs and beauty of all that, and all the cultural Marxism and all the things they put into making these seascapes and cityscapes and parks and all that. But underneath all that is a real need for the male to do what he does anyways. And a building is no stronger as a building if you paint it with pink or bright colors. It's all up to the male to do, and that's what we see in cultural Marxism. We have this underneath that gets glazed over with all that art and beauty, and it really doesn't assist the structure. It really doesn't make it stronger. It really doesn't make it more durable. It doesn't really make it any more feminine, because it was never built by a female. We romanticize these ideas of beauty, and it becomes a hindrance when men are choosing their female. I've seen this a lot in my life because I'm a little older, and I've seen it with men too. Men's ideas of romanticized beauty as the male figure. Let me talk about this one. When I was growing up in high school, there was a smallish male, and he used to get beat up a lot. And by the 8th grade or 7th grade or somewhere in there, this male, a friend of mine, started taking karate classes and weightlifting classes. By the time he was 16, 17, 18, he had developed quite a lot of muscle and quite a lot of skills at this. But underneath all that, and underneath all that work that he had to do, and all the steroids he had to take, and all this garbage that he had to do, and he spent 24/7 doing this, and beautifying himself, romanticizing himself to get the perfect woman. And he found the perfect woman just like him, and she was just like him, and then they had a child. Guess what happened? When the child came out, the child was smallish. It was a mirror of what he was really in his DNA. So we move and we progress in time. I've worked with this guy for 20 years. So at first he's a well-built, well-educated male. He can slide by on his good looks now. Well, he's still a short male, but he can slide by on his good looks for a short period of time. 28, 29, 30 comes up, gains a few pounds, loses a little bit of muscle. 31, 32, 33, 34 comes up. It doesn't quite look the same, loses a lot more muscle, can't keep up the old habits and the rigorous routine. The steroids take their toll. The wares of life take their toll on this male. They also take the toll on a female that was exactly the kind of female that he picked, exactly like him. So right around 34, 35, he's looking at her, she's looking at him. It's not what they planned on. It's not. They look at their child. He's a smallish male. He cries a lot. He's exactly what the father was when he was younger. Wouldn't it have been easier to be honest, try to fix his appearances in a more reasonable way and search for a woman that appreciated what he was? But no, the divorce occurred. The child separated. He's taken on a lot of traits, bad traits, and he becomes a bad child. So when we look at romanticism, we look at cityscapes, we look at the window painting and the window dressing of females, we look out at, you never know what you're going to get, is what I'm saying. Don't fall for this. Naturalism is a pretty good way to go. A girl that doesn't wear makeup, you can see the natural beauty of her skin, or a building that is just a solid building you would like to buy. Nothing with beautiful curves or dormers and all that, because they're just window facing for the actual structure. And sometimes you find out the actual structure of things are much weaker than we thought. This is a problem with this becomes a real problem in our culture, because the structure of our culture is much weaker than we thought it was. Hence feminism takes over. Hence the male is still searching for that romanticism that he so desires, because he gets saturated with it. He gets saturated with it in his life over and over and over, from the time he's 2 years old and watches his first TV show and his first cartoon to the time he dies. He gets saturated with these pictures of what he thinks is right, these pictures of beauty, and he thinks that these pictures of love that is fake. It is 100% fake. And if a scientific view would have been taken by the male early in life, sort of like MGTOWs do, we take an evolutionary view, we take a scientific view of life, we take a very logical view of life, which is rationality. And we look over these women and we see what we're getting, and it's not what we're getting. Now, RBK just did a video with Rick Rude about all the window facing and window dressing, that women do to promote themselves. It's just romanticism, and it's not. You see this from a MGTOW point of view, but 80% of the men out there are going to fall for this, because they're not smart enough to know if you mate with that girl, that's what you're getting. Try to see a little deeper into that, because now you're going to have children that reflect you and her on a genetic level. It becomes a lie, and that's what we see nowadays. We see 70% divorce because everybody's lying to everybody about everything. There's no truth or true beauty in the world. There's no appreciation for true form, the male form. It's what he can do now. It's what he can project himself as, but those projections are just fake projections of the real male. What the real male is just what he is. He's generally a pretty solid, worthy person, but we get skewed. Our ideas get skewed about what we want. Our mental projection. We look out and what we desire gets skewed by all this cultural Marxism and Romanticism and Victorianism and all that. I mean, the most solid window is a nice solid piece of aluminum window. It may not look the greatest, but it will last a lifetime. And that's generally what I look for in life. A nice solid car that's going to get me back and forth to work. A nice solid van without all the flash. I want more of a motor and a transmission than I want flash, and that's what we have to look at life as. I want more motor. I want more transmission. I want more solid parts. I don't want all that flash and window dressing, because it skews my view of how long the car is going to last, about how long my building's going to last, about how long my relationship's going to last, the windows on my house, how long they're going to last, the roofing that I get, how long that'll last. It may look great, but is it really solid? Is it really reasonable? Did you take a scientific look at the thickness, the weight, the complexity? No, some of us just look at colors. We're colorblind to reality and life. That's what I talk about when I talk about romanticism leaving us colorblind. And I wanted to just clarify that point on my last video. Thanks a lot, Monkgtow.